one of the big reasons why Cartoon Network, at least in my opinion, fell off was the way that they branded their network. Again, as far as the way the US is concerned, was done in a way that was almost a 180 of the way that they used to run the network back in the mid 2000s, where there was a lot of heart, a lot of soul, and a lot of fun put into the bumpers, promos, and overall atmosphere that added to their collection of shows. Now it is 2025, and we got an exclusive look at what Cartoon Network is looking like in other countries. And we have a look at Turkey. But before we jump into that, I'm joined today by the great, you guys know him from all the Cartoon City videos that he's released, Ninja. Go ahead and say hi, my friend.
Greetings. I run a channel. It's mainly for showcase and preservation purposes.
Welcome. Yes, this is going to be a lot of fun. He's the one who actually sent me this video, and when he sent it to me, I knew we had to do it immediately because this looks so good. What was the thing that when you first saw this, you were amazed?
It was, what was it? It was the fact that they would incorporate the live action elements with the animation again. And they haven't done that for, at least in the US, for quite some time. Like you have the Gumball one, you have the one where they're getting chased by a boulder, you have the one with Finn and Jake with the marshmallow roasting.
That's a good one.
And then, like, they also add a little bit of flair to the logos, even. Like, at the end of that marshmallow roasting one, you see the network logo kind of in a fiery haze.
Even on the boulder one, you see the boulder comes back when the logo pops in, and it just kind of like tries to topple over the logo or get in the way. The way that they did these is so. This is, to me, I said this in our pre-call, but this is so We Are Back to me. This is what that screams. There's just so much of checkerboard in here, so much of city in here, while also still feeling a bit fresh and almost exciting.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the Gumball ones are great. The Ben 10 ones, I think, are probably my favorite, though. I love the of dabbing. I think that's pretty great.
It's funny because dabbing hasn't been popular since like 2016, so now it's more of a meme, if you do it ironically. But my favorites are... It's the ones with Gumball and the Finn and Jake one.
The Gumball ones are really great. Like, I like the cooking one where he's side by side with the kid and they're like having some kind of like cooking competition or something like that, or they're both trying to cook the same thing and the real life kid is just not able to do it. I think that's a fun idea because I could imagine a kid watching that and being inspired to want to cook because of that promo.
It's also funny because in one of the bumpers, like, they show them running through the school, which is a real life place, but in this case, they use a still from, like, 2010, 2011. So you have the kids, real kids, running through a real life still with animation. So it's a funny composition.
That's the coolest thing about a lot of these EMEA pastel bumpers is that I don't want to call them all different, but like, for example, like there's this We Bare Bears one, and like it's kind of like how you said, like in the background where if you like look out the window, the drawings are almost like play school, preschool, like the bus that passes by, the car that passes by. But then you get to the actual scene of them in the diner, and the We Bare Bears are all on model. You can see the backgrounds look really nice. So it's just interesting how that's like they jump all these different styles. It's so surprising. Like, it's so, what's the word? Refreshing.
It makes me wonder if, because a lot of the animation projects are being pushed over to Hanna-Barbera Europe, I wonder if maybe they had a hand in animating these.
It could have been. And I wonder if they had some type of creative director that was like, let's go back to like this style, this kind of thing that we used to do.
Well, yeah, because they're not dominated by Zaslav. They can be their own company over there. Which, it's nice to see this level of creativity in bumpers again, compared to the bland, like, these are still pastel, but we've been strictly only graphics and over here in the US. We don't get live action elements anymore.
Yeah, we just kind of get everything over here in the U.S. is bland. And like, if for those who haven't been watching Cartoon Network in like the past like decade, everything involving the network, I mean, it's getting better, but the past decade has just been incredibly bland. No originality in any of its atmosphere or packaging. It's all just been boring or really heavily corporate. Cartoon Network turned from, to take a quote from that big article, the kid in the back of the classroom who would throw spitballs to, a guy who feels like he can't, walk outside of any lines or he's always got to stay confined. The Cartoon Network guys stopped being fun. But I think with these pastel bumpers, we're getting back to that.
At least overseas.
At least overseas.
Because the main reason why the network is in such a bad place, and I'll go into the explanation on the domino effect.
Let's go.
So, when Stuart Snyder left, Stuart Snyder was great. He really helped push the network into the 2010s. But when Christina Miller took over, she came from the toy line. She ran the toy line of Kids Next Door toys. So
oh, nice.
I thought she'd be a great fit, but it turns out she was very spineless in terms of actually holding any pushback against corporate and the investors.
Yes.
When investors and corporate, they demanded more Teen Titans Go, she went with them. She ran Teen Titans Go, and you didn't get to see until 2015 because that's about how long it takes for the CEO or executive decisions to be made. But by 2015 and 2016, all the network mainly was Teen Titans Go. And it didn't help that AT&T and Warner Bros. Merged, and they initiated a merge in 2016. And so, from what I've heard, as a result of that, is from 2016 to 2019, they let all the showrunners of the current popular shows know that they're doing a merger. They have to wrap up all of their productions within the time of the merger finalizing. So that's why you saw Adventure Time and Regular Show and Gumball end like pretty much right about the same corner. It was to do it in time so that I believe if they didn't finish their projects entirely, there would have been a tax write-off.
Yes.
Because that's what happened with OKKO, it's what happened with Infinity Train, it's what happened with DC Superhero Girls.
Is that also what happened with Over the Garden Wall as well?
No, Over the Garden Wall, it was only a miniseries. It's why they're able to still air it and produce merchandise for it today. And Megas XLR was also a tax write-off, if I recall. But as we've seen from the creators, they were able to make all their money back through iTunes and digital storefront purchases. So
they released versions of those like little wooden dolls that they had. I thought those were cool for that special.
For Over the Garden Wall?
Yeah.
I thought they did, like in 2017.
Oh, they did? Oh man, I gotta get on that train.
I think they're like promotional though.
I think those are super cool.
But so the network offered the creators of Megas XLR a chance at another season or like a reboot, because I think you can do handmade animation anymore like that these days and not have it be overly expensive. But they were offered another go, and then when the merger closed, not the AT&T merger, but the Warner Bros. Discovery merger closed, Zaslav was at the top, and he didn't want to put any more money into animation projects because Zaslav's goal was to eliminate debt, essentially, because when Warner Bros. Merged with AT&T, they took on AT&T's debt. So Zaslav, by doing all those tax write-offs, he eliminated a decent portion of the debt, but that came at the cost of things like Infinity Train and OKKO.
Yeah, which OKKO, I've noticed they barely even air anymore either.
They can't.
Yeah, because
What?
I would have loved to have seen KO in some of these pastel bumpers, or like over the garden wall characters. I mean, there's some cool stuff in here, and I'm sure they're going to get to more. But
There's a chance he could have appeared in some because I haven't kept up to date with EMEA bumpers.
because it's been 10 days since this upload, so I wonder if there's some more that they've got cooking. I kind of want to stay updated with this. I kind of want to stay and see if we get any more cool ones here.
Yeah, I'm not.
Some of these are really awesome. I remember when they used to build entire sets for some of these promos. Build whole sets, make entire set pieces and all these things.
Well, which area you're talking about? Because I think
The 2000 era, like there's like Scooby Universe, for example, how they had like that whole mansion, or there's
Oh, okay. Yeah.
there's like a Billy and Mandy one too, where they're in like some closet or house, these spider webs everywhere, and there's like lab bottles and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
they built
'Cause,
those sets,
Yeah, I think starting in like 2007 or 2008, they started using a lot more green screen work, which is fine. I mean, it fit the contemporary atmosphere they were going for.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, so, like, if they want to change the style, that's fine. But so long as they keep the spirit. The problem was they changed the style and lost the spirit.
Yeah.
But I think these are really, really cool. I'm super. I really hope we get these in the West. I really, really do. Yeah.
I would imagine maybe we will. The thing is, with the way that demerger is going to go, it's very possible the network is just going to be put on life support, and they might not even bother importing those bumpers.
Or maybe they would have to because they couldn't pay to produce any more of their own. Maybe.
It's possible, but I'm not.
It's such a messy situation. It's all this internal stuff.
Because according to David Byer, the channel would just go on life support. Like, you would start seeing the Andy Griffith Show on Adult Swim, which I don't think has ever aired on Adult Swim.
I feel like some of those old shows, I don't want to say that they would do well because I don't want to give them any ideas, but I could see waking up at 2:30, 3 in the morning and an episode of Andy Griffith just being on. I could see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be favorable. Like, I wouldn't want them to flood their channel with old shows. But if it was like one at like a 1 30-minute time slot at like 3 a.m., I wouldn't hate it.
Well, I don't think I'd be awake for it anyways.
But that's also true. Yeah, I wouldn't be watching it. So.
Unless you got a graveyard shift, but
I guess just from a schedule perspective, I wouldn't mind it.
that's fair.
I think these bumpers are super, super cool. I really hope we get them over here to the West. And if anything, I know things in the U.S. look really gloom and doom as far as Cartoon Network is concerned. But if you're able to take a look at how Cartoon Network is doing in other countries, it's able to at least ignite a tiny fire in you of like, okay, we're all right. We're not in the woods yet.
Yeah, especially the cool thing about the cool but sad thing about the network is the only real thing they're able to do for us fans these days is the live streams where they'll the anniversary streams where they'll sometimes showcase the older bumpers, because they don't have to pay royalties for airing those, at least on streams. And then also the physical home media releases, as well as the collaborations, like with Daylight Curfew. I don't know if you've seen those.
Daylight
all of them.
Curfew.
The jackets.
The jackets. No. Let me see.
They got like a Toonami one. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I just found their collection, but I've never heard of them before that. It's cool though. Toonami Daylight Curfew. Look at that. That jacket's pretty sick.
Yeah. They got a lot of neat stuff.
Yeah. That's super cool. But anyways, guys, if you guys really liked these pastel bumpers, let us know. What did you guys think about them? What was your favorite aspect about these bumpers? Let us know in the comment description box down below. And yeah, I think that's about as far as I wanted to go with this. Did you have any final notes you wanted to add?
I don't think so, no. I think that's about all we need to get out.
Awesome. Yeah, these pastel bumpers look so cool, and I really hope we get them in the West, or at least get more of them. But anyways, guys, leave your comments in the description box down below. Let me know what you guys thought, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.